Hello, welcome to your reading. So this one's about meeting your soulmates, your soul people, your soul family, not necessarily the romantic partners, although that may come through here for some of the groups today. It's about meeting the people, coming into contact with those who potentiate your spiritual evolution, with whom you can create the relationships that are vessels for your spiritual growth and help you to activate and actualize the real, true soul potentials that are within you. So your choices for today, we have three options. It's group 1 with the neroli essential oil, and I intended to pull one card for each group, but two came out here. We have the 2 of Swords and the 10 of Swords, so that's group 1. Group 2 is the frankincense essential oil, and we have the Sun card for you today. And group 3 is the Gardenia essential oil with the High Priestess card. And by the way, in case you're interested, this is from the Radiant Rider-Waite deck. This is the classic one. And this pile I'll be drawing and reading from the Universal Rider-Waite deck. So those are your options. You can pause the video to decide which one you feel drawn to. And I'll see you at your reading. Okay. Hello, group 1, those of you who chose the neroli essential oil and or with the 10 of Swords and 2 of Swords. So let's get started on your reading. I'm just going to put this here and join these cards back into the deck. Okay, so meeting your soulmates, your spiritual people, your progression teammates. Group 1, where are you at the moment of this? Okay, so we have first the 6 of Cups. Let's put this. Okay, the 8 of Wands, the Star, and the 4 of Pentacles. Okay, this can go here. One more card. Page of Cups. Tempting but not releasing. Okay, let's start there. I have the first 3 cards indicating that there was definitely a plan, a pre-birth plan, and a repetition of an agreement throughout many lifetimes. So you've incarnated with these people before, and you all agreed to help each other, to potentiate each other's spiritual growth and soul evolution. And it feels like it's a starseed energy, so you're a stellar group. And you've worked together before with really beautiful results, seeding a lot of light, and expressing a lot of your own light into Earth, helping the evolution of the planet and humanity. So we also here have a 4 of Pentacles. I want to clarify that one. Okay. All right, so it's the 7 of Cups. Okay, so this speaks about your quest to meet these people, to come into contact with them, to reach them and work together again, bringing in streams of light codes so that you can help to potentiate the consciousness of humanity together. The block here in coming into contact with these people again. So I feel 2 different options. One is that you're being thrown decoys, So you're meeting people who are imposters along the way, and they're holding some aspects of your soul group, of your soul family, your soul mates, that resonates to you. Like, see this cup here? They're carrying the fragments of those with whom you're meant to be in contact with for soul evolution. And so you're drawn to them because you sense the vibration of your soulmates, but it's not really them. It's an imposter who's carrying the fragment, and you've had this experience many times, and it's caused you to feel somewhat disillusioned and disappointed with the option of actually meeting these people again, and in doing that, experiencing a huge amount of joy because of the light that you can bring in together. So you have your own light, but when there are people or souls who connect with one another with the intention to bring in more light, it's more powerful, and you feel the energy that you're channeling in through you, so it activates more of your own joy. So essentially you're looking for these people because they're going to push you into a deeper, broader, stronger contact with your source. And that's why these connections with these imposters have been so intense and difficult to break away from, because you really do want this soul meeting, this soul connection for this greater purpose and connection with source energy. But they're not real. But you don't realize that they're not real, so it's very confusing and entangling. So that's one option. The other option is you yourself are being distracted with many different choices. So you need to reconnect with your own. This isn't in the cards, this is just my own experience and intuition speaking to you from this other alternative, or why we have this block here, which is you're being distracted into false paths. So you may have phantom timelines connected to your energy system where you're being tricked into following paths that don't quite suit you, but through that nourishing and nurturing and fertilizing these false paths with your light. So you're helping others to fulfill their agendas, but they're not on course. They're not your straight center. They're your dead narrow. They're false paths. Or you are so excited with many different projects and many different options and many different choices, or maybe there are many scenarios going on in your life that are pulling your attention to many different places, that you're not centered, focused, grounded, and you need to reestablish your internal connection with yourself first. So you're letting all the bright lights kind of distract you and pull your focus and energy and attention all over the place, so it's too dispersed. You need to call that all back and center yourself so that you can live from the inside, looking out, and make a more qualified choice about what you're going to invest yourself into. It would help to first reestablish your connection with your heart center so that you can feel the resonance between the vibration of your heart against the choices that you're being presented with, and intend to choose the one that is in alignment with your true path. Okay? So let's continue. I just want to qualify, there's no wrong path to walk. Every choice that you make is correct, and it fills in the web of your evolution. But there is always an option at any given moment in this reality field of cause and effect. There's always an option that has the highest vibration, the highest outcome for you. So that would be your so-called true path. Okay, the golden path. So let's continue. Let's just see what other information we can get for you about coming into contact with your spiritual mates, your soul mates, group 1. Okay, so we have the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, interesting. The Emperor, 8 of Swords, and the World card. Okay, so I'm getting the energy of you being right on the threshold of this, you're so close, or you've been close many times and backed out or been distracted or had some scenario crop up where you chose to deal with the drama or the conflict rather than walking through the doorway. So, through the doorway of meeting your spiritual family and your true path. So that's really what this battle has been about for you. It's been about choosing yourself first, and in doing that, having the real people, the real soulmates come in through for you. So putting yourself first, it's not selfishness, it's just tuning into the vibration, like I was saying previously, about those options when you're being presented with a choice, and which one of those relative to your heart center, relative to your soul's desire, is communicating the higher vibration. So that choice will lead you towards the path, the stairway up into your greatest good. And that is the place, the path to your people. So in a way, you're doing this to yourself. It's not blame, you're not at fault, but it's just to help you see that you have more power in this situation. So we can sometimes feel helpless or emotionally isolated when we can't really greet or meet the people who best align with our soul's intentions. It does feel like you don't belong anywhere. And that can feel very disempowering. Like there's this huge world full of people, full of energies, full of everything, and yet there's nothing that speaks to you or nobody that really speaks to you. So that can lead to hopelessness and despair and withdrawal, and we stop acting our energy into the world, we stop walking, and then everything stops. So don't despair, don't give up, just start making choices and taking actions that feel like the right one for you, whether they are in conflict or not with the values, the belief systems, the conditioning of your immediate social circles. I don't feel like it's family very much, but it could be more for this group, career and work and stories and ideals about professional development or professional success that interfere with your choice to choose yourself first. So you might be driving yourself a little too hard, you might be draining yourself, you might be putting yourself into the scenarios or meetings or groups or studies that have nothing to do with your soul's potential. So you need to choose that and dislodge yourself from those false things that don't really resonate for you, leave them for somebody else, and be really, 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 really honest and true and powerful with yourself about what is your throne and your truth, really, what makes you feel right. And that's the right thing for you, and finding respect for that and pride for that, taking courage from that. And when you kind of fix yourself into this truth, that's when everything will click into place and you'll have the meetings that you want with the right people who are your spiritual teammates. Let's see if there's any final advice for you. Group 1. Ace of Swords. With the Three of Swords hidden behind it. So there's something here about, let me clarify this first. I think you might be stuck on a disappointment, a grief, a loss, a feeling of failure. There's a memory, there's something that needs to be resolved from years ago, where you really invested, you put all your hopes and all your dreams and your whole soul into making something happen, and you were thwarted. It's this pattern of being thwarted, being thwarted, being thwarted, being thwarted. Like we were speaking about at the very beginning of this reading, it has more to do with you at that key moment not walking through for yourself, not showing up for yourself, not really making the choice or speaking the truth or turning away from filtering and properly discerning what's right for you and what's wrong for you. So you need to choose yourself again. You need to make the decision to start choosing yourself again and your own decisions and resolving this past perceived mistake. Perhaps even calling back your energy and your hopes and your dreams, the investment that you made into that failed project. You moved on in time, but you did not move on with your energy. There's still a part of your root system that's invested there and it's keeping you stuck. So take back your sword. This is speaking about your truth And it's like Arthur and the stone, Excalibur. You need to draw Excalibur out, pull those pins out from your heart, and take up your sword of truth again and walk fearlessly towards your fulfillment. And that's where you will find your soulmates. They're waiting for you in this world. You just need to show up there. And then you'll have the support and the alignment that you've been craving and wanting your whole life to bring in more light and love for yourself and for the world. Okay. Thank you so much, Group 1. That's all I have for you. Take care. Bye for now. Group 2, my friends. Hello, those of you who chose either and the Sun card with the frankincense essential oil. Thank you so much for being here. So I'll just put that there. Put this back into the deck. So let's see what advice we have for you. What messages are there for you for connecting with and working with, evolving with and through your spiritual mates and your soulmates? Group 2. Oh, you're doing well. Okay, so we've got the Lover's card, the 2 of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, the 5 of Cups, and yes. I think there's one more for you. Let's take this. Queen of Cups. Okay. Okay, so overall, Group 2, it looks like you are doing beautifully and feeling beautiful. There's an overpour of love and just like the right kind of pleasure. So the kind of soul-based, source-based, light-based, joy, love, light, of giving, of connecting. Your heart is full and for the most part, and you're enjoying the gift of giving and exchanging these energies with other people. So you do have 1 or 2 people in your life, feels like friendships, and possibly these friendships are also involved with some kind of a creative project, maybe even work-based creativity, and you're happy, you're together, and you're working on it. But there's something that's a little bit heavy or a little bit down. You're feeling a little depressive to me, sort of in the background. There's a bit of heartache that's not being spoken. Maybe there's something in the situation with your friends that you're not totally happy with. There's something that's not in tune for you. Maybe the things that you're actually working on together don't feel quite right, or they don't quite align with you. Maybe you're thinking about walking away from the project or walking away from those people, as that might mean to leave the project. And you feel very sad and heavy about this. So maybe you're at a decision point where you're thinking, is it time to move on or not? Do I speak up here or not? And it feels like the answer is you need to communicate more about how you're feeling and what you need and what you'd like and maybe what you're envisioning. Not to criticize what you're working on with these people, but just to speak your truth about how you see things for yourself. I want to clarify this 5 of Cups. Look at this card's trying to bounce out. It's the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Anything else? Really, really overall, there's a very nice light energy about you. This is just like a little blueberry in the pie. Not a lot. Okay. You know what? Saying not a lot. Look what we've got. Okay, so we have the World. This is all clarifying the 5 of Pentacles. So, sorry, the 5 of Cups. So maybe there's really a lot that needs to be said that you haven't been saying. This is just like the tip of the iceberg, peeking through an apparently beautiful situation, but there's a lot under the surface. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, we have the World, we have the Fool, the Devil, and the 5 of Swords. All right. It feels like you do want to break away. You're really wanting that new beginning. You're feeling guilty and ashamed that what you have now isn't working for you, or that you can't align. Maybe your friend group or your social group, your immediate circles, have a belief system or a value system that you've evolved out of. You don't feel like it's going to bring you closer to your truth or closer to your light anymore. So even though you have these very beautiful, lovely feelings of friendship and connection and care and respect and kindness with these people, it doesn't feel right for you deep, deep, deep down, because it doesn't quite align with the ultimate potential or purpose of your soul. So you're in a chapter, you're in a phase that feels like maybe it's coming to a close. You're asking, should I close it down? Because those human feelings of companionship and kindness and care are so beautiful, and they're so developed, and they're so rooted into your sense of security and identity that you're not sure if it's the right thing to do to move on. Already some advice is coming through. It's to continue with this care and kindness, love, respect that these people have shown to you and that you feel with them, and speak your truth very softly, very gently, what you need, what you see for yourself, and what's important for you to fulfill. Okay? And keep in mind, you can't control the outcome of how these people will respond to you or react to you, and that's probably a fear that you have here, this fear of loss of these connections. You don't want to be cut out, but the truth is that you already feel like you don't belong, because you can see that these people don't really see you for the truth that you've suddenly identified in yourself, or maybe that's starting to become brighter, that you can no longer ignore. So there's another world for you that you feel you want to walk into and explore and discover all the gems that are there. And doing that means perhaps you understand saying goodbye to this one. And that is heavy and that is difficult. So let us get you some advice, group 2. It's also feeling like you have a very, very young energy, very youthful energy. Like it's just the beginning for you. So you don't need to feel like it's the end. It's really the beginning. Oh, again, the Three of Swords. The Three of Hearts. It makes sense. This one was also in group 1, and I won't be surprised if it shows up in group 3, because it's these heartaches and heart blocks and past betrayals and disappointments that keep us sort of misaligned and disjointed from our true soulmates, our spiritual friends. Okay, so the Page of Swords coming through for you, group 1. You might be feeling a bit naive or unprepared or not sure how to find your words and awkward about what the next world is going to be. So maybe you're anticipating that people are going to ask you, well, what's next? What could be better than this? And the truth is that you don't really know what to say, because you don't know what that will be. You just feel in your heart and in your light that there's something else that's more scintillating, more activating, more fructifying for you in a different place, in a different space. So, Judgment and right, okay, so keep in mind that because you feel this dissonance already with this group that's been so beautiful and nurturing for you, they might not understand. No matter how much you know about this, you could go to that world and come back a master of this place that you're dreaming of now, and explain everything to them to perfection, and probably it won't make sense to them, and they still won't understand, because the world that they're living in, they still feel this way in it. So there's nothing within them that's making them feel like I need something different or something more, something else. They're totally satisfied and resonant and resident, therefore, in the world that you're all in together at the moment. So speaking of something else that could mean more will not make any sense to them. So be quietly when you explain. Be humble. Say your goodbyes if that's what you choose to do, in a way that leaves the door open for love, if not understanding from from a soul place or from a intellectual space or from the space of experience or desire, you might not find spiritual understanding, but you can find humanity and kindness with each other. So you can agree to disagree, but still feel respect and love. So you can close that chapter with respect. And that feels like that's all you needed to hear about that. Any final advice for group 2, please? The Strength card. Okay, so take courage. Proceed with strength. Proceed with trust that what you feel is accurate and right for you, that you will be supported. There might be challenges along the way, but take courage. Your courage will protect you. And I just want to say this card. You're really on the right track. You can trust yourself. And also be kind to yourself. I know everybody says that, and what does that even mean? It's so abstract. It feels like you need to walk very calmly and without stress. So take the steps that you need to take carefully, with thought. Don't leave any T's uncrossed or I's undotted. Just tie up all the bows, all the loose ends. Close down everything that needs to be closed down. Do everything you need to do responsibly. You have time. Do everything carefully. And all is well. Okay? Thank you very much, Group 2. That's all I have for you today. Bye for now. Group 3, hello, those of you who chose the High Priestess card with and or the Gardenia Essential Oil. Thank you so much for being here. Let us get started on your reading and talk about connecting with your spiritual soulmates. Woo! Okay. 7 of Wands coming up first. For your group 3, you are a sparky, spunky bunch. Very fiery, very going at it, lots of courage. Knight of Swords. Oh, very nice. Rounded off with the King of Cups and the King of Swords in reverse. All right. Okay, so the way it's feeling now, there's a message here for you that you need to slow it down a little bit and learn to wield your power more carefully, because you're thrashing through situations, you're thrashing through your path, and you're cutting down and dismissing those who could otherwise potentially have been or will be your spiritual partners, your creativity mates, your soul mates, but you're not seeing your surroundings clearly. You're not seeing the opportunities clearly. You're not seeing the people, the beings in your surroundings clearly, because you're just bulldozing through. You need to slow down your horse, because you're breaking so many things along the way and closing them down before they even get started. You're trampling, sorry for being so aggressive with this, but like you're trampling the sprouts before they have a chance to bloom. So you need to learn to wield your sword better. It could be that either you're too forceful in the way that you move through a situation. So in work, for example, you could be the one that's got all the ideas, is speaking all the words in the meetings, that's taking control of all the situations, all the projects, or maybe you're closing it down when your intention is actually to open it up, because you're not feeling or tuning to properly the emotions and the personalities of the other people in the room. Could be that bulldozy thing, or you're cutting people down with your words. You're using the power of your intellect and your speech in a hostile way. It's being received as hostile. So it could be that you're not being hostile at all, but because maybe there's a dissonance between you and the people with whom you're communicating. They feel attacked, they're getting defensive, and you're feeling lost and confused about how to even proceed with these people because they don't match up. And it's true, so you don't need to feel arrogant about that. They're not on your level. So maybe this one isn't so much about tuning yourself down or adjusting yourself, modulating your power. It's really more into that leadership role. It's more about withdrawing from this particular group, calling all your energy back into yourself and going into like a rejuvenation mode. That's the King of Swords. So you might be feeling a little bit drained, exhausted, or just depleted from all of this intellectual work. Like almost like a lawyer. You know, you're working so hard in the world of logic, communicating to make people see things a certain way, but you're talking on deaf ears. And in this situation, if this feels resonant for you, there's no point. You don't need to fight for spirit. You don't need to fight for love. You don't need to fight for truth in the form of debate with people who are fixed into a different kind of worldview, wasting your energy there. So these are not your spiritual mates. These are not the people who you're going to convert suddenly into a more enlightened state. You need to pull back from wherever you're doing this debate, argument, analysis, proving. You're draining yourself for no reason, and that energy can be better spent elsewhere. So let's continue for you. Ooh, 3. I'm going to take all of those cards. So we have the Knight of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, and it's the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so we're going a little bit into the advice. Okay, so you are in the intermediate stages of understanding yourself, your core, your essence, your purpose, in the intermediate stages of understanding how the world works. It could be more in terms of the political world, the 3D world, the matrix world. You're starting to understand how those nuts and bolts work, how the gears turn. And you're putting slowly, you've been doing this for a while, putting the picture together for yourself. You've gone through the process of disillusionment a few different times, and now you're in kind of the adolescent phase, let's say, where you feel the excitement and the passion and the fire of going out into the world with everything that you've learned and teaching and explaining and trying to make people understand and have the same sort of excitement and insight and revelations that you've experienced yourself on your path. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not the right way for you. It's the Queen of Pentacles that's showing you the path here. So you need to be a little bit more discreet and wise and reserved with where you invest your knowledge, where you invest your energy, these gems that you want to just dole out and throw into the masses. You need to be a little bit more discerning about who you're handing these golden coins to. Yes, being a little more light in the way that you navigate your interactions, a little less serious, and a little less determined to change people's minds. That's not going to end well for you. So let's get some advice, because you do need to come into the group that suits you best. There's a very strong sense that I'm getting that you're trying to but you want the people who are closest to you, who you love the most, who you care about, to have the same kind of insights that you've had, The shadow reason for that is you don't want to lose them. You're trying to change them so that you can continue to belong with each other. Okay, so that's not easy news. Take it with a grain of salt if you like, but consider that you might be trying in your fervor to change people so that you don't lose them. And that might be the thing that's blinding you to how you should proceed, a little bit more like a bunny, less like the Knight of Swords, more gentle, more discreet, more light-footed. Okay, so on to advice for you, group 3. Okay, 5 of Wands, interesting. I'm surprised to see that given what has come out already. Let's see how the story unfolds. 5 of Wands. 2 of Pentacles. Yeah, 9 of Swords. Alright, so you do know this already. You're in the place where you're debating. You're going back and forth with yourself. Do I fight or do I grieve? Do I fight? Do I let it go? Do I fight? Do I let myself feel the loss and the disappointment? It's your option. It's your option. Try to assess whether or not you're going to win this battle. Someone just dropped something upstairs. So maybe that's a sign perhaps for you that no, it's not a battle that you can win. You're trying to change something that's unchangeable, like you're at the elemental level with some of these people, and they are essentially one element and you are essentially another. Doesn't make either one of you right or wrong, so perhaps that is something that you need to get yourself sorted with as well. It's a little bit of judgment on your part, just because you feel the truth of it, and you could very well be right. What you see could be, objectively speaking, accurate. It doesn't mean that you're automatically right in your way of living and that these other people are automatically wrong in their way of living. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow, because perhaps you see that the way that they're operating is going to lead to destruction and chaos and pain and disappointments, not only for them but perhaps for a greater whole. But you're wearing yourself out and down by applying judgment here, because that's part of the fuel that's driving you into trying to change something that cannot be changed. If it's lead, it's lead. If it's silver, it's silver. If it's hydrogen, it's hydrogen. Just let the element be what it is. Let's get you some advice for this 9 of Swords, because this is really causing you a lot of angst, a lot of distress. Chariot's sort of flipping but not coming up. 6 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups. Anything else? That's a lot of cards. Okay, let's take them. Okay, so just need to make a little more room here for your advice. Now let's clear this deck. Okay, so advice for you for this 9 of Swords. How do we pass that? Yeah, this needs attention. Okay, so 6 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups, the Hanged Man, Ace of Cups, Emperor, Queen of Swords, and the Empress. So it's a nice outcome for you. Very nice outcome for you. Coming into contact with people who actually align with your way of seeing things will first help you to soothe this pain and this fear of loss for these relationships that have been so important to you. Perhaps it's your immediate family. Yeah, so expanding your social network in a very slow and careful, methodical way. Don't go out there guns blazing, because you may connect with people who you don't necessarily need to connect with. Keep it balanced, keep it slow, keep it steady. You might actually want to create an outlet for everything that you've learned. Some form of social media, or maybe journaling, or maybe like a group that meets once a week, something online, doesn't matter. Just, you need an outlet to communicate what you've learned to those who will receive it and understand it in like a friendship way. You need peers, okay? Yeah, you need friends and peers who relate to what you're speaking about so that you can have a discussion about it rather than an argument. Okay, because you also need to take these ideas, these insights that you've had, and ripen it a little bit with your own understanding, with your own wisdom, not just taking in other people's ideas or information and parroting it. You need to process it and make it your own also. So consider the things that you've learned a little bit more, reflect on the things that you've understood, maybe make it a little bit more practical. Maybe there are changes that you want to make in your actual life, how you do things, or how you think about things, or what's important to you. Maybe you've got some priorities that you want to reevaluate based on these insights that you've had. And it feels like it's more about reorganizing how you do practical life. Okay? Just very small, simple, basic things after you reflect. So what do I really want to do with this information? So make it less theoretical and think about how you want to apply it. And that'll also be a very nice outlet for you to express and be a demonstration of what you've learned. And in doing that, you'll also pop up in worlds with people who align better with you. Okay? So then you'll feel more in control, more wise, rather than like deep down this child who's arguing with their parents about how things are. You don't need to do that. You just need to step away from those debates, kind of break free and start to walk your own path. Divorce yourself from those who would say, no way is that the truth in the end. Okay, so if you're feeling a little bit more partisan against evangelical thought, that's one example of how this might show up. Don't take on evangelists. Just don't. Let everybody live their own experience and separate yourself from the flow that doesn't align with you. And then you'll move yourself into the flow that really, really does. You'll find the stream that suits you. And then you'll feel very grounded, very in control, and empowered to live your own truth, to express who you are safely, securely, with stability, not, bouncing into people who want nothing to do with these ideas. So also don't take it personally. They've got a conditioning, or they've got a story, they've got their truth that feels right for them, and it's self-reinforcing. So anything that contradicts that will automatically and subconsciously trigger a defensiveness that has nothing to do with you, and you don't need to take on that defensiveness. That person, that essence is not really there. And as sad as that is, you need to move on from having that argument, having that conversation. You don't need to cut the person out of your life, but you do need to cut that conversation out of your relationship. And by taking these practical steps, thinking about how your new insights apply to you and how you want to make them practical, you will walk into the group of those who really align and help you to evolve and mature and express your potentials. Okay, thank you so much, Group 3. That's all I have for you for today. I wish you well. Take care. Bye for now.